Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and in this video we're going to go take a look at a construction site that I have already shown in another video, but the video that I got of that construction site was taken from the ground, and so I thought, well, it might be time to go back and see how they're coming, and also to make sure that we get it from the air, which gives us a better picture. So here we go, and I almost got run over by a guy who didn't think bicycles should be on the road right here. He's coming from the left, and he'll go around me. But anyway, in order to tell this story, I might have to split it up into more than one video. So don't worry, I'll fill it in. And if you are a subscriber, well, then you'll know when the next one comes up. If you're not a subscriber, you might want to subscribe, because I got all kinds of stories about when I was a kid, when I was in college, when I had my airplane. This series of stories is going to take a while. And oh, by the way, you see that bump? Now watch this guy on the bicycle. You're going to see his butt bounce. There you go. I do that a lot. So anyway, we'll see him later on, so keep in mind that guy. And then I come across the street here, and I didn't realize there was a guy going way over the speed limit, and he comes zipping by me. So, all right, so we're going to get started on my story about sailboats. And I had a couple of sailboats, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Now, when I say sailboats, young folks, they're going to think, oh, that's a boring subject, sailboats, I mean, because, they like to have twin 100-horse outboards on the back of a boat and bouncing down the lake at 50 miles an hour and all that kind of stuff. Well, the thing about sailing, and by the way, if you love sailing, well, then you understand there's something about it, and part of the fun is the challenge that you continually face to keep the boat moving in the right direction. And so that's what makes sailing fun. If you're a person who likes to challenge, well, then sailing. And if you've never been out in a sailboat, if you get the chance to go sometime, it's really cool, because a sailboat, you don't have a motor. And so as you're moving along at a very good clip, all you hear is water splashing against the sides of the hull. And and that's a pretty special way to travel around. So anyway, oh, by the way, there's the guy on the bike up there on the right of the road. That's the same guy that bounced through the hole back there, and he and I must be going about the same speed, because I got my e-bike and I don't have to work hard, and he's got his bike and he's pedaling pretty good. So so sailboats are pretty special to me, and it's because I just love boats. So let me start with when I was a kid growing up near the center of downtown Seattle. I was on Capitol Hill. That's where in 2020, that's where they had all the riots and people moved in and stuff. Well, that was my neighborhood back when I was a kid, and it was a nice neighborhood. It's a good place to live. Things change though as time goes by. So, by the way, see that sign? Life would be flat without music. Well, anyway, so here we're coming to the construction site. And so when I was growing up in Seattle, one of the things I loved to do on my bicycle was to ride down to the waterfront and go along and look at all the ships and large boats and stuff that were docked down there at the waterfront. I don't think you can do that now, but back when I was a kid, there were a lot of them down there. So that's where I probably fell in love with boats. So anyway, then as I grew up and went to high school, and my folks moved out to about 14 miles south of Seattle, in the area near the Seattle-Tacoma Airport. And so in school, I ran into these two guys. I'll call them the Lewis brothers, and they were twins. They weren't identical twins, but they were close enough that if you didn't know them, you could get them mixed up. But once you got to know them, you noticed that you could tell they weren't the same. So these two boys, teenagers like me, their mom was like a single mom. And by the way, here we are. We're taking off the DJI Mini, and we're going to go take a look at this construction site. And so they had some friends that I never even questioned about that supplied things for them. And like one of the things they had was a 17-foot sailboat, which was identical to the kind that they use in Annapolis to train sailors how to sail. And that was their story. And boy, it was all wood, and it was so well made. It was a beautiful little sailboat. And so I had never been out on a sailboat, so they got me started into sailing. And that's when actually I probably fell in love with it, was with these brothers. All right, so now we're looking down on the construction site that I was standing on the street looking at, and I'll put a link up to that video too. And some people, nobody knows what's going on. I think it's an extension to the school. And it looks like that square area right there might be where a building's going to be. And, of course, the rest of the area is going to be parking in a lot of places. And so these bright-colored things under the ground there, those things are, they collect the water when it rains really hard. And so those are like manhole covers that will be in the parking lot. And when it rains really hard, then the water runs down into the manhole covers, and then the water stays in there and slowly seeps out and gets back into the ground, and that prevents flooding. So that's what those are, and they got a couple more places where they have buried them and where they are. And if you're wondering where everybody is, it just so happened that I showed up as they were on their lunch hour. And after it's an 8-mile round trip drive, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and get the video, and I'll be coming back to get more videos of the construction that's going on here. But pretty much just kind of dead there, and you can see those they're not aluminum, they're galvanized steel tubes. And then this square area, I'm guessing, is going to be a building, but I don't know for sure. And there's some more underground tubes that have been buried. And there's a guy walking around on his lunch hour, and another guy looking down in a hole over there, kicking the dirt as you take a look at it there. So anyway, they're not doing much. But this is, as we go up here, you can see that they've got a whole bunch of those buried already, and there's some on the upper right hand, some in the upper right hand corner there that they're burying. And in the last video that I put up about this, just about the center of the screen was where they were burying some more, and so that's probably, I guess, the first part of construction. So I'll be coming back, and we'll take a look at this as it moves along, because I'm kind of interested in it, and I'll just share my information. So I'll get back to the story here before the video comes to an end. So the Lewis brothers had this beautiful sailboat, and they lived on Angle Lake, and I don't know what their mom did, but they seemed to be fairly wealthy. And so they had that boat out in the lake, and we would go out and sail around. It was a pretty small lake, but that's where they had the boat. And so that's where I learned the principle of sailing a boat, was out there on Angle Lake. Now, and then there's probably going to have to go to the next video to tell you that eventually they had a friend who hauled their boat over to Lake Washington, and we sailed a lot in Lake Washington, and so I'll be telling the story about that in my next video that I tell stories. We didn't have much internet recently, but now we've got fast internet, and it's really nice. It's It's the T-Mobile 5G, and boy, it uploads fast. So it makes it hard to want to make a video when you can't upload it. So I should be having much more success uploading videos. So anyway, more stories about sailing later. And in the meantime, I just want to thank you for watching my videos. And now there's a guy working during his lunch hour. I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.